Hi guys, it's Riley and this is my deep dive vlog. So overall, women are not paid as much as men. Even working full-time and year-round, on average, women working full-time year-round are paid 83.7% of what men are paid. This inequity is even greater for Black and Hispanic women. So how does the wage gap tie in with my topic, collegiate women's activism? Well, I'm arguing sexism on college campuses, college majors with gender disparities, and the frequent unfair treatment of women in male-dominated majors contributes to the wage gap. In the 7 Necessary Sins for Women and Girls, there's a quote that says, "Ambition is a sin because patriarchy wants women to be less than. Having ambition means being more than." So the wage gap starts in college because women-dominated majors and male-dominated majors trickle down to careers and forms the wage gap. So women are deemed successful when they stick to pathways that are societal norms, and they are deemed too ambitious or full of themselves when they decide to steer away from the typical girl majors and choose a major dominated by men. And according to the Chicago Tribune, the #1 major with the greatest gender disparities is early childhood education. There's only 3.8% male students a part of early childhood education. And this is interesting because I would argue that teachers are some of the most underpaid profession in the world, and they're not taken seriously and they are not protected the same as other careers because it is a career dominated by women. And the same goes for nursing. A lot of students are discouraged from male-dominated careers in college, and an example of this is from UGA's Red and Black, and a quote says, "Women should not be civil engineering majors. At least that's what Jillian Fazer was told by a male classmate the fall semester of her junior year of college." With comebacks and angered responses from her classmates coming to her defense, Fazer forced to laugh while internally trying to process the insult. Although she refused to let the comment intimidate her, she remembers feelings of confusion combined with the unspoken gratitude for the friends that stood up for her. So this just shows that even today, women are being discriminated against by their male counterparts because men feel threatened by women's success. And can we all be feminist? A quote says, "We say to girls, you can have ambition, but not too much. You should aim to be successful, but not too successful. Otherwise, you would threaten the man." And this goes with the quote from the Red and Black. And, it also just goes with the point I made earlier about women are okay if they, are successful in their own lanes, but the second they cross into a man's lane, then they're a threat. In a article called "No Girls Allowed, Women in Male-Dominated Majors Experience Increased Gender Harassment and Bias," it says that women with MD majors experience significantly more gender harassment than women from GE majors. And it basically says they have more bias and instances of harassment. So this just shows, again, women are, it's okay if you're successful and you go to college, but the second you try to become a doctor or get higher education, then they're too ambitious. They're full of themselves, they're overly confident, and that's when they experience gender harassment. In another study, researchers found when the performance of a male employee, when students rated the performance of a male employee, they rated him as competent and the female employee as floundering, but they were both seen as likable. However, when it was clear that the female employee performed well in her position, the students ranked her competence as high, but her likability score dropped. Meanwhile, her successful male counterpart was seen as more pleasant as his competence increased. This just shows that when women are successful, society is trained to label them And in the 7 necessary sins for women and girls, there's a quote that says, "You cannot be more than when patriarchy crushes you into being less than. We learn early. Bossy, bitch, show off, selfish, pushy." This goes along with the study that I just quoted from. If a man is very successful, then he's ambitious and he is smart. And when a woman does the same thing, then she's bossy, she's a bitch. But that's the only way she can get to where she is, by being confident. So this just shows how the wage gap starts in college, because women face discrimination on campuses and their majors with gender disparities, and women are just treated unfairly in male dominated majors.